mother. First the Americans lost at Fort Washington, then at Fort Lee. And now General Howe's army is a mere 30 miles from Philadelphia. It is a dark hour in the colonies, and many have given up hope. With such crushing defeats, I wonder how long it will be before America loses its war. Moses has written me that the Continental Congress is fleeing the city for Baltimore.
It would seem our leaders intend to run and leave us to the English.
It looks like the rebels' Congress is just like their army, retreating.
I wish I was with General Washington. I would never retreat.
Despite their spirit and bravery, the Patriots are just a tiny David before the huge Goliath of His Majesty's forces.
Excuse me, Moses, did I startle you?
You're leaving, Ezekiel?
Word is our army cannot keep the British from marching into Philadelphia, and I'm no hero.
Neither am I. But Ben Franklin is staying open for business. What's this? It's from my little French friend, Henri. He's gone to La Bottle?
Let me see. Going to... Oh, the battle. Guess that boy's even more foolhardy than you.
This cursed tossing.
We live in turbulent times, Hastings. It's best to roll with it. Speaking of rolls...
No, thank you. I have to take this wretched voyage to France for business. But why you, Franklin? Your foolish revolution is over. You'll never get France to join your rebellion against the English. And when your soldiers' enlistments are up at the end of the month, you won't even have an army.
General Washington will have men.
Who? Washington wins no battles. No one will want to serve with him.
The general knows the stakes. Before the month is up, there'll be a battle he will win.
And if he doesn't, if he loses again, who will join then?
If no one else, I shall. You don't look well. More turkey?
Two more weeks and my term is done. Let the war go to blazes. I shall put my feet up and keep my head down.
James, there you are. Is something wrong?
Him, and those like him. They're counting the days till they leave. I don't understand.
They're sick, half frozen.
So? They're fighting for liberty.
James, be reasonable. They're not professional soldiers like the British.
I'm going to talk to General Washington. There must be something he can do to put the fight back in his men.
Fight? They can't even stand.
General Washington. Good morning, sir. I wanted to ask you something.
If it's a story you're looking for, my young journalist, you'll have one shortly. As a matter of fact, your timely...
General, Reed just gave me the news. I can't believe you offered command of the New Jersey forces to General Lee. He's repeatedly defied you. He's...
General Greene. Please excuse us.
James, don't eavesdrop.
Yeah! This is big news. Didn't you hear what Greene said? General Washington is giving General Lee command of the forces in New Jersey.
So?
So, General Lee refused to help Washington when he needed it, and now Washington allows Lee free rein in New Jersey.
Oh, so if Lee wins a battle, he'll be hailed as a hero and the Americans' best general.
Exactly. But why would Washington do something like that unless... That's it. He's got some big surprise to turn things around. Yikes!
Henri, what are you doing here?
I stowed away.
Oh, onions.
They were delicious. Have I missed the battle?
You saw the letter General Lee wrote Reed.
By accident.
Lee wishes you replaced by himself. Sir, please, if you let him act independently in New Jersey, a victory would practically guarantee that your name would be blackened.
Nathaniel, I know all that. But the objective of this war is not sparing my reputation. It is freedom. We've been on the run, Nathaniel. We need a victory against the British. General Lee is a professional soldier. I am not. He is English and knows their tactics. I have only determination and a small quantity of good sense. No, General Lee is our last best hope.
I knew Washington had a reason.
General Washington, an urgent dispatch.
General, what is it?
It's Lee. He's been captured.
The British defeated Lee's troops?
No, there was no battle. It appears Lee was taking his ease at an inn, 6 miles from his troops. All he had with him were 6 men.
The arrogant fool!
18 days till enlistments run out and all my soldiers march home. What am I to do?
General Washington.
It's Thomas Paine.
General.
Thomas?
Sarah, James, and Henri.
You know my young friends.
Mr. Paine, we met a year ago in Philadelphia when he was writing Common Sense.
Tom, I asked to meet, thinking you could write a few words to celebrate a victory. It appears I must ask a great deal more.
We're looking for Paine, a writer? Huh. We should be looking for swords and big guns.
I'm worried about Mr. Paine. I know he told Washington he'd write something to rouse the men's spirit so they'll stay on. But he looked so troubled.
Sarah!
Good evening.
Forgive us, we don't wish to impose.
Not at all. It's I who should ask pardon. I despise moody men who fret over a broken thing eternally rather than take 2 minutes and a nail to fix it. My difficulty is I can't seem to find the nail.
You don't know what to write? You know, whenever I have trouble getting started, I try humming.
James, leave the man alone.
It's all right. I started putting down thoughts weeks before the general summoned me, only the words keep tangling in knots.
But you must know what to say. Your words brought them here in the first place.
What can I say to hold them? What have I the right to say?
They've all fought so well and so hard. Perhaps it's kindest for it to end now.
Soon as I'm old enough, I and others like me will take up the fight.
And so you would. All that we fail in will fall to you.
Write about victory. Write about glory.
No, they've had enough false promises.
What is he writing?
These are the times that try men's souls.
I'll be moving quickly. The general requested I see to the printing and have copies back before Christmas. Still certain you want to come with me? It's a long walk.
But why before Christmas? Enlistments aren't up till month's end.
Time waits for no man or woman. To Philadelphia.
I just came from there, and you want me to walk back?
Sorry, Henri, but the army can't spare any horses.
Come, Henri. It's only 30 miles.
Philadelphia, at last.
Home at last.
No place like it.
I'm not so sure.
Where is everybody?
Looks like people left in a hurry.
Here comes someone. Pardon me, where is everyone?
They fled town. We're going to my cousin's in Baltimore. We'll be safer there.
Safer?
Washington can't stop Hal. The revolution's over. I have no intention of staying in Philadelphia.
Look!
The door's wide open.
Moses!
I guess I offended the wrong people. I managed to drive them off, but they still did some damage. I shouldn't be speaking to you. You ran off and only left a note.
I didn't want to miss the battle.
The battle's everywhere, Henri. As you can see, this is a citizens' war.
This should make you feel better.
Thank you.
What is happening? Why are patriots leaving the city?
Can you blame them? Even Congress has left.
Then we got here just in time. Thomas has written something that will change their minds.
I was hoping you'd be able to print something up.
Nothing would please me more. Unfortunately, they tore the lever off the press. It'll take time to fix it.
Time is yet another thing our revolution is short on. We'll have to find a different press.
Don't worry, Philadelphia is full of printers. Oops.
Robert Bell. He made a fortune printing common sense. Somehow, I doubt that old Scotsman would mind earning a bit more.
Paine, that traitor!
Are they following?
Yes, and quickly.
Then let us go. Quickly.
I think that lost him.
Good, because we're here.
I'm sorry, Tom. I can't help you.
It's not long, and it's urgent. Requested by Washington himself.
Aye? He retreats mighty fast. Think you can catch him?
That isn't funny.
I didn't mean it to be.
Come, Robert. You alone had grit enough to publish Common Sense.
Aye, but times are more dangerous now. I'm not a dreamer like you, Thomas. I'm a simple businessman.
Bobby Bell. Small enough to hide behind a shilling. If I heard any other man say that of you, I'd have knocked him to the ground.
Hurry! It's this way!
It's locked. He must be in there.
It's no use, James. He won't come to the door.
I can't believe it. 6 printers all said no. What are they afraid of?
Perhaps getting knocked to the ground and having their press broken.
Don't they understand that if they want freedom, they have to help fight for it?
What do we do now?
How about run?
Wait!
Monsieur Paine, you were so brave for a writer.
Paine? Thomas Paine?
Yeah!
Yes?
Sir! I am an immense admirer. I wonder if you might spare me a few moments.
I'm always delighted to share my thoughts with a fellow citizen. However, at the moment, you find me somewhat pressed.
Yes, I've heard of your dilemma. but I'm not a citizen. I mean, I am a citizen, but I'm also a journalist. The Pennsylvania Journal. And my paper has a press.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Let me help you two.
You are helping. You read the words, we set the type.
Believe me, Sarah, you're helping. Just read what I wrote.
These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country.
Go on.
But you're also tired.
Us? Tired? Come now. Whoa! Tea, anyone?
Cooper, this is hot water.
Oh no, I forgot to put in the tea.
But he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Let it be told to the future world that in the depth of winter, when nothing but hope and virtue could survive, that the city and the country, alarmed at one common danger, came forth to meet and repulse it.
Oops.
Sarah's right. You must rest.
You can't do this by yourself. I can stay awake.
Maybe I could help.
Enough. I'll help Mr. Paine set type. You read.
I fear not. I see no cause of fear.
In the end, we will be the victors, for though the flame of liberty may sometimes cease to shine, the embers will never expire. There! That's the last of it. Thank goodness Moses was able to help.
Let's get moving. We've got to get these to General Washington.
And don't worry. Cooper and I will find someone to help us print your words in a pamphlet.
We'll distribute them all over Philadelphia.
Monsieur, I think we need your firewood trick again.
Get out of here. I'll try and give you a few minutes lead.
And leave you to face this bunch?
Uh-oh, more bunch.
Wait! It's Bobby Bell.
And that's Gaylord and Huntington.
The three printers who turned us away? What do they want?
Paine, it comes to me if this skinny lad Cooper can make a few coppers off ye, 'twould be a crime for us not to make a pound. You'd be wanting this set in the pamphlet form.
Yes, but...
And what's this now?
Hold fast, gentlemen! Show them your mettle!
Look at them run!
Do what you will with me, but you, Paine, were born a traitorous Englishman and shall die one!
True. I am an Englishman. I fight for the English and for the Americans, and I fight for you because I fight for an idea. And if you lack the sense to value the right to speak your heart or defend your personal ideals, then I'll fight for your child's right.
Well, you and your words. You're just trying to confuse me.
This isn't the end of it.
No, but it could be a beginning. If he reads what Thomas has said.
You are starting to talk like the enemy.
What are you talking about? I don't sound anything like a Tory.
No, I meant like a grown-up.
story breaking here and you're busy writing your mother?
Hold your britches. I'll be right there. Dearest Mother, when I first arrived in Washington's camp, I wrote how I couldn't imagine these humble ragtag soldiers holding out for even a day against the slumbering giant that is England. Now seeing the determination in the eyes of these colonists, I find myself wondering if even England is giant enough to stop them.
December 1776. Dearest Mother, the war goes badly for the Americans. General Washington has been driven out of New York entirely. His men carry on bravely, but the lack of supplies and victories is taking its toll. Some feel that General Washington's plan of constantly retreating will wear out his own forces, while the British troops remain strong. The winter has forced all sides to make camp. We wait, watching each other. Even tonight, the camp is alive with news of a captured spy. His name is John Honeyman. He's a butcher from Griggstown, New Jersey, and a former British soldier. He has been supplying cattle and intelligence of Washington's movements to the Hessian army camped in Trenton. It seems that Mr. Honeyman journeyed too far away from the Hessian camp in search of more cattle. He was captured by American soldiers on patrol. What do you think they'll do to him?
What do you think? He's a Tory spy. He betrayed his neighbors.
I don't understand why they call him a traitor. He's just being loyal to his king. That's something James will never understand. Right now, James is interviewing the soldiers to see what they think of Mr. Honeyman.
I don't care about it one way or t'other.
But what if General Washington gets helpful information from questioning the spy?
I'll give the general some helpful information. My enlistment's up in 10 days and I'm counting the minutes.
You mean you won't re-enlist?
Don't you want liberté?
I signed on to fight for liberty. Now I'm sorry I ever heard the word. It's cold and I ain't got nothing for my feet. I went 4 days without food till I caught me a possum. Ever eat possum? I never will again. Never will enlist again either. I'm running home to my family in 10 days. You know what? The rest of the militia's going with me. Won't be nobody left.
Look, Henri, General Washington and the Tory spy. I hope that spy Honeyman hasn't ruined Washington's plans, whatever they are.
This man is a notorious turncoat. I want to interrogate him personally in my tent.
Did you hear that? He's going to personally interrogate Henri. Henri! Psst, Henri, get away from there. That's official army business. We can't be listening in on that.
But I want to know if the spy has ruined anything.
What do you have for me?
I bring news that is better than your wildest imaginings. General Howe is suspending military operations for the winter. He's moving the British troops to Staten Island and Manhattan. Howe has left Trenton in the hands of Colonel Rall and his Hessians. Rall has relaxed his guard and is ripe for attack. The Hessian colonel is a brave warrior, but he's fond of comfort, and they are about to begin their Christmas celebration. I have prepared a diagram of the Hessian camp. I have also assured Colonel Rall that you and your men are in no condition to attack. Tonight, after I made my miraculous escape, I shall reassure him again.
Words cannot express my gratitude. By posing as a traitor, you have put yourself and your family in a most unpleasant position.
I am glad if I've been a service.
That you have. Take charge of the prisoner. This man is unrepentant. Lock him in the guardhouse.
Honeyman has been spying on the British for General Washington.
Where have you been?
Looking for you.
We've been worried about you.
Did you find anything out?
He was trying to eavesdrop on official army business.
Henri?
But what about the spy?
That is none of our business.
Remember me? You were asking me those questions last night? I'm soon to be ex-private Edward Hughes of Virginia, by the way.
I'm James.
Henri.
My name's Sarah.
I don't suppose y'all could spare a little extra.
Sure.
Oui.
Of course.
Much obliged. Y'all hear about the spy? He got away.
What?
Nobody knows how. The guardhouse was still locked. He just wasn't in it.
This is a disaster. He's probably blabbing everything to the British right now.
You're right. That puts us right in the middle of a camp that could be stormed by British troops at any moment. James? You don't seem very concerned.
What?
I'm the loyalist, you're the patriot. Shouldn't you be at least as worried as I am?
I am. I'm just hungrier.
Dr. Franklin?
Monsieur Paine?
No, monsieur, his partner, Gerard. All France has been awaiting the arrival of the great American genius.
And all you behold is a grouchy old man with gout.
Not at all. You are welcome in my home to eat, drink, and rest.
I shall take you up on all three.
So you come to France to ask the king for help against the British, no?
No, I come to end my days reading, experimenting, and working with the great scientists of France.
Oh, yes, of course. Then your coming has nothing to do with Washington's crushing defeats at Long Island and New York.
Ours must seem a lost cause. If only some good news of Washington's army could reach France.
Tomorrow, just after sundown, we are going to cross the Delaware and attack the Hessian camp in Trenton. My plan is derived from the hit-and-run tactics that the Indians on the frontier used quite effectively in the last war, but with a touch of my own strategy. Basically, it's a three-pronged sneak attack. 3 regiments crossing the Delaware at 3 different points, above Trenton, opposite Trenton, and downstream from Trenton at Bordentown, surrounding the Hessians and cutting off escape options.
General, won't this plan be terribly difficult to coordinate?
Yes. Its success will depend upon our ability to meet that challenge and time the landings so that the Hessians will be surprised before they are out of their beds. Tonight, after evening parade, instead of returning to your tents, you are to prepare to march to McConkey's Ferry. There, we will cross the Delaware and mount an attack on the British stronghold in Trenton. That is all.
Just when I thought I was going home.
And a Merry Christmas to you. Only 7 days to go, and we have to go get ourselves killed.
After that spy has gone back and told him everything, they'll be waiting for this.
Has General Washington lost his mind?
He knows what he's doing.
So you still think he's got some secret plan?
Of course he does.
I ain't seen none of it so far. Alls we've done is retreat and retreat again. This is the most useless mess I ever got involved in. I ought to desert.
But you're a soldier. You can't just leave.
Fighting for liberty's one thing, dying for nothing's another.
James, he has a right to know what he's risking his life for.
He'll be all right if he just follows Washington's orders. We spent that Christmas night crossing the half-frozen Delaware River, hoping the Hessians wouldn't catch on to General Washington's plan.
I'm cold. Why are we doing this?
Come on, Henri. This is a chance to see history in the making.
Oh, and maybe freeze to death.
Help! Man overboard! Help! Grab it and hold on!
Come on now. Y'all can't afford to do that. Heck, everybody's cold. Why'd you take a chance like that? You could have fallen in too.
Every man is important, Private Hughes. I'm just thinking about the cause.
I gotta admit, I ain't been thinking about the cause for quite some time.
Open up! Open up! I must speak with Colonel Rawle at once!
Colonel Rawle is given explicit instructions that he is not to be disturbed for any reason.
Could you give him a message right away?
If you'd like to write a note, I would be glad to deliver it to him.
Colonel Rawle, Washington's troops have crossed the Delaware. They are mounting an attack. You must rally your forces immediately.
What is it? I told you not to interrupt us. No more interruptions, please.
Yes, sir.
Gentlemen, shall we continue?
General Washington, the sleet has ruined most of the gunpowder.
Then use the bayonet, Captain. Trenton must be taken.
Has the great George Washington gone mad? Everything has gone wrong and he still wants to continue.
Y'all better take cover in that there barn. We'll be in the shooting war soon.
Please be careful and don't take any unnecessary chances.
Too late!
Colonel Robb, Washington's troops have attacked.
Are you hurt?
Yes, I've been hit. I cannot stand. I cannot move.
Let me see the wound.
Oh, the note. Colonel Rawl, Washington's troops have crossed the Delaware. They are mounting an attack. You must rally your forces immediately. If I had only read this note, I would not be lying here now.
Look! The flag! Our flag.
Our flag! Our flag! Well, it's not exactly my flag.
We won! We won! We lost nary a man! The town is ours! We caught them with their breeches down!
Congratulations! Finally, a victory!
I'll tell you what else. When we was marching in, I saw General Washington on his horse. The horse slipped on the ice and would have fell, but the general grabbed his mane with his big right hand and pulled him straight. Kept on going without a hitch. That's when I first started to think we might have a chance.
James, but what happened to the spy?
Honeyman was secretly spying for Washington.
What?
I overheard them talking when I went to get Henri away from the tent. He told Washington that the British had pulled out of Trenton and the Hessian soldiers would not be ready for an attack.
You knew this all the time and didn't tell us?
It was a military secret that I wasn't supposed to know.
So he really did have a secret plan. I wonder what he's going to do in 5 days when he loses his troops.
My brave fellows, you have done all I have asked you to do, and more than could be reasonably expected. But your country is at stake. Your families, your houses, and all that you hold dear. I know your enlistment ends tomorrow. The present moment is one which will decide our destiny. I'm asking for volunteers to stay on and continue the fight. Philadelphia merchant Robert Morris has donated the money for me to offer each man $10 for another tour of duty. Do I have any volunteers?
Please, somebody.
Heck, I will if somebody else will too. I can't fight this thing alone.
Now we have an army.
Without your courage, Private, we wouldn't have a chance.
Ah, heck. Let's win this thing.
General Washington, I want to congratulate you on your brilliant success.
Yeah, even though she doesn't believe in your cause.
General Washington?
Yes?
A message from Congress. They fled to Baltimore due to the British advance on Philadelphia.
So now I'll have to go to Baltimore to plead for more money and troops.
No, sir, you won't. That's the whole point of the message.
Evidently, Congress has seen fit to give me full power to do all things relative to the operations of war.
That's fantastic! First a great victory, and now this!
Most generals, when they get that much power, become dictators.
A free nation must not be ruled by generals. The sword is the last resort for the preservation of liberties, and so it must be put aside when those liberties are established.
Dearest Mother, I now know that I have been in the presence of a true military genius. When the British general, Cornwallis, learned of the surprise attack on Trenton, he immediately marched his troops there. The Hessian forces and all of their weapons were gone, captured by the Americans. But Washington's troops were nowhere to be found. Where were they? They were mounting a surprise attack on Princeton, New Jersey. Since most of the British troops were in Trenton, Washington's men took Princeton handily.
It's a fine fox hunt now, my boys.
Washington's skill and inventiveness at using the tactics he learned from Indians is beyond compare. I am, of course, still loyal to my king, but I fear that England faces a greater challenge than she knows. The American cry for independence is being backed up by a very canny general, and the tide, perhaps, is turning.
Dr. Franklin! Dr. Franklin!
Hello, what is it?
My name is Jonathan Loring Austin, Secretary for the Massachusetts Board of War. I have urgent news from America.
Tell me, Mr. Austin, are the rumors true? Do the British occupy Philadelphia?
I'm afraid so. Congress has fled to York. Wait, there's even greater news. The British General Burgoyne has surrendered his army at Saratoga.
Come in, Mr. Austin. Christmas has come early this year.
Dearest Mother, so much has happened since I last wrote. Winter has arrived, and Philadelphia remains occupied by General Howe and his army. Moses and James took Dr. Franklin's printing press to York before General Howe's soldiers could confiscate it. The Continental Congress will, no doubt, make good use of it. As for Dr. Franklin's house, Captain John Andre has seized it and made himself quite at home. He dines often with Peggy Shippen, the daughter of a local gentleman with sympathies for the crown. The less I say about her, the better. Every night there is a ball. Well, I have gone to one or two to be polite. Under the circumstances, it is impossible to enjoy them. Everyone acts as if we were living in London. But the Americans always do something to remind us that we are in their country, in the midst of a war. Moses and James are now in Newport, in the colony of Rhode Island, to buy inks and papers for the press.
There!
From a merchant who I believe Moses said is Jewish. Little Henri is still here, however, and Captain Andre has delighted in giving him quite a bit of responsibility around the house. But here is my greatest secret. I don't like living with all these strangers, even if they are British. If only you were here, I'm sure I wouldn't be so confused. Your loving daughter, Sarah.
Yes, Ben, you were wise to move out of Paris to this chateau. It's closer to Versailles and far more private than my quarters at the hotel.
Not to mention more inconvenient for the French and British spies.
Dr. Franklin, Mr. Dean, I don't mean to interrupt, but I've just learned some very important news. Paul Wentworth, the chief of Britain's Secret Service, has arrived in Paris.
What in heaven would Wentworth be doing there?
He wants to meet with Dr. Franklin.
Burgoyne's defeat has obviously rocked the British government. Perhaps you should meet with him, Ben?
No, I want you to meet with him first. Hear him out, but commit to nothing. In the meantime, I will pay a private visit to France's foreign minister. We'll play the British off the French so we can get what we want.
And what exactly is that, Dr. Franklin?
Check to your king. It appears we've flushed out a couple of English spies. Now we must seize the opportunity to meet with Comte de Vergennes. A ship sails for America in 4 days. Have these delivered by messenger.
You can count on me, Doctor. Good luck.
This should be the place. Would it be all right for me to look around? I want to check on the Rhode Island Brigade and see how they're doing against the British.
I suppose. There's no point in buying inks and papers if we don't have something to print.
I'll check at the State House and come right back here.
That telescope's imported from Italy. Can I help you find something in particular, sir?
I wrote you from Philadelphia about inks and paper.
Ah, yes. Dr. Franklin's man, Moses.
You've got a good memory.
Well, you and I do share the name of the man who led my people out of slavery in Egypt, Moses Michael Hayes, at your service.
If you don't mind me saying, I haven't met many Israelites.
Neither have I, for that matter. We are but a small fraction of the American population. But I take it, Moses, that you are a free man.
Yes, sir.
Many less fortunate than you have been bought and sold on the docks here in Newport. Some, I have to admit, by my own people.
And some in Africa by mine as well.
But forgive my manners. May I offer you something to eat or drink?
I wouldn't want to impose.
It won't be fancy, I assure you. I lost everything I own when a ship I purchased went down in a gale. In fact, I've only recently come out of debtor's jail. A lonely place, I can assure you. But I don't have to tell you what it feels like to not be free.
Makes a man value every day he is free.
Please.
Thank you.
It's a funny thing about freedom. A lot of people talk about it without really understanding it.
That's a fact.
I moved here because Rhode Island guaranteed freedom of religion. Well, my people here do have our own temple of worship, but we're still not considered full-fledged citizens. Still, I'd rather be a free man in the United States than a servant to the Pharaoh of England. I mean the king.
Moses!
Yes?
He works with me at the newspaper.
I see.
I found out about the Rhode Island Brigade, all right. They sent a list of people they suspect of being Tories to the Rhode Island Assembly. Now, the Assembly has posted a list of suspects that it's demanding take a loyalty test by signing an oath in public.
Mr. Hayes, I'm afraid your name is on this list.
All of France is impressed with the recent American victories, Dr. Franklin.
As I've told you before, the United States will win this war. With France at our side, it will take a matter of months, not years. That one looks quite tasty. Of course, that looks good too.
Please, Dr. Franklin, take them both.
I hate to ask too much of you.
France insists.
Merci beaucoup.
Unfortunately, Doctor, His Majesty King Louis does not wish to offend his brother-in-law, King Charles of Spain, by signing a treaty of alliance with the United States.
I thought this was between France and the United States.
Spain owns a vast amount of land in America. King Charles feels that if you have taken what is England's, then you most certainly will take what is his. And France cannot make any agreement without King Charles' approval.
I've been a patient man, and I don't mean to be rude, but given the circumstances...
At least stay and finish your pastries.
I'm sorry, but suddenly I feel in the mood for some English tea. Au revoir.
Surely now that the American capital has been taken, the rebels will see the error of their ways. No less than Lord North himself assures me that Parliament will soon publish new terms of settlement for the colonies.
I trust it will break their will as well as their backs.
Now, John, they are of British descent after all. No, I believe the terms will be quite generous as long as the Americans are willing to give up their stubborn notion of independence.
What are you doing here?
Spying on them!
Get back in the kitchen before you get caught.
Of this, I'm certain. Once news we've occupied Philadelphia reaches France, the French will turn their backs on the rebels for good. They're much too vain to fight for a lost cause. Besides which, everyone knows they despise the notion of liberty.
Yeah! The French will help! And even though King Louis may not believe in égalité, fraternité, et liberté, the French people do!
Equality, brotherhood, liberty.
Hey, put me down!
Well done!
If I may speak, General Howe.
By all means, Miss Phillips.
From what I've seen, too much has changed for the Americans to accept anything less than full independence.
Oh, that is such a foolish little idea.
No, it's not. You may occupy their homes, but you will never win their hearts and minds.
Have you forgotten that you are English?
It has nothing to do with me, Captain. The Americans don't feel they need a king anymore. They believe they can rule themselves.
Rule themselves? Impossible!
I, for one, would like to propose a toast. God bless King George.
God bless King George!
God bless King George.
Moses Michael Hayes?
Yes? What can I do for you?
Moses Hayes, you have been summoned to the State House.
Take him away!
We don't need the likes of you.
Traitor!
I still don't believe it. The nerve, the gall, the absolute cheek of the British. You asked me to listen to Mr. Wentworth, and I did. But to insult you and me by offering us money and titles in exchange for becoming turncoats?
No doubt Comte de Vergennes already has heard the details from his spies. This is all going extremely well.
Going well? I don't understand.
We have fanned the flames between Britain and France. Now it's time for me to meet with Mr. Wentworth.
But surely you don't intend to accept his offer?
Hardly, but Comte de Vergennes won't know that.
There they are! Rotten Tories!
list of men accused of being disloyal to the patriotic cause of American independence.
Read the names.
Get the traitors out! We don't want them here!
As a representative of the Rhode Island Assembly, I am here today to demand that each and every one of the accused sign a public oath of loyalty to the Revolution. Moses Michael Hayes, step forward. Mr. Hayes, are you ready to sign the oath?
I have the right to face my accusers. Who here has any proof of my disloyalty? Or is it that there is some other reason I am accused? Could it be that I am an Israelite?
Will you sign the oath or not?
Every time I venture to Paris, I am reminded of how much I despise it. Quite a beastly place, don't you agree, Dr. Franklin?
Actually, I've grown quite fond of it.
I understand you're quite the celebrity here. Yet your blood is English. A man of your character, given the proper circumstances, might find a warm reception from his king and country.
In other words, you'll give me a title if I betray the revolution.
If you insist on being blunt, very well. Yes, His Majesty is prepared to reward those who show their loyalty. I need not remind you that much has changed since you came to France. General Howe has taken Philadelphia.
I like to think that Philadelphia has taken Howe.
This letter was given to me by a man at the highest level of the British government. It is Britain's determination to fight for another 10 years, rather than grant American independence.
In that case, America is ready to fight 50 years to win it, which, by the way, I don't believe will be necessary.
Gentlemen, I've called you here tonight because it has come to my attention that Dr. Franklin met today with the Chief of Britain's Secret Service. I'm afraid we are facing a dangerous new development. France has already lost America to Britain. Do we stand by and lose our claim to the West Indies as well? His Majesty has told me that we must prevent this from happening at all costs. We have held off any alliance with the United States to prevent a war with Britain, but we must face the fact that the only thing worse than such a war would be an agreement between Britain and America. It is time for this council to act.
With all due respect, I will not sign. I will not sign because I am as patriotic as any man in this room. But I am also an Israelite in a land of Christians, and as such, I have not been granted the liberty to vote. My people have a temple here in Newport, but none in Boston, for the law there forbids Jews from public worship. Rhode Island was founded on religious tolerance, yet I am still not considered a citizen. And why? Because I worship God after my own fashion. Neither the Continental Congress, nor the General Assembly of this state, nor the legislatures of any of the other colonies have ever taken notice or provided rights to Israelites. Until such a time as we are, all of us, ready to recognize each other as equals, I will not sign this oath.
Dr. Franklin's plan was masterfully executed. Comte de Vergennes has signed a treaty of alliance with the United States. King Louis has finally agreed to grant Dr. Franklin an audience. It will mean war between Britain and France.
You've given us every single letter Dr. Franklin has written to Congress. Why not just intercept the treaty as well?
Even I can't do that.
You think Franklin suspects you're a spy?
The old man has no idea. It's a secret I shall take to my grave.
I believe you will. Here you go, Edward. 500 pounds as promised.
God save King George.
Mr. Hayes, it's Moses.
Moses, I'm sorry. You came here to buy those inks and the paper, and we never did get around to it.
There's no need to apologize. I saw what you did, what you said.
I just want to be treated the same as any other man.
Mr. Hayes, there are some people outside who want to see you.
What can I do for you?
Mr. Hayes, you made a great deal of sense. If all men are created equal, it only seems fair that each and every one of us should sign the oath.
You would really do this?
Permit me to be the first.
I, Moses Michael Hayes, pledge my loyalty to the United States of America.
Moses, do you really think all men are created equal?
An idea's only as strong as the people who stand up for it. And a lot more people are going to have to stand up for equality before it comes true.
Is it true? Has the treaty from France arrived?
Yes, and Richard Henry Lee is about to speak.
Gentlemen of Congress, today we must admire the true wisdom and dignity of the court of France. We have worked together, politicians, soldiers, and philosophers, in a true harmony of mutual affection. This happy juncture of time and circumstance has laid the seeds of an eternal friendship. The old lion that is Britain has finally lost its growl, and France, by its openness, has won our friendship more powerfully than any piece of paper could ever bind us. If we have the courage to persevere, we shall establish our liberties and independence. All those in favor of ratifying the treaty, say aye. Aye! The Treaty of Alliance with France is unanimously passed. Aye!